Mine's on.
On. Kind of weak.
Welcome.
I don't know where.
This is the August 30th, 2023 meeting of the Pinole Community Services Commission. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And could we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Commissioner Clark, Commissioner Kopp,
Here.
Commissioner Ojeda, Commissioner Ruport,
Here.
And Commissioner Teller,
Here.
Commissioner Martin.
Here.
And I am here. Maria Picasso, Recreation Manager, is not. I'm Jeremy Rogers. I'm the Community Services Director.
The next item, I'd like to ask for approval of the minutes from May 24th, 2023, please.
I'll approve it.
Could I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Citizens to be heard. Citizens may speak under any item not listed on the agenda. The time limit is 3 minutes and is subject to modification by the chair. Individuals may not share or offer time to another speaker. Pursuant to provisions of the Brown Act, no action may be taken on a matter unless it is listed on the agenda or unless certain emergency or special circumstances exist. The commissioners may direct staff to investigate and/or schedule certain matters for consideration at a future meeting. Please see the cover sheet of the agenda for instructions on how to submit public comments. Do we have any public comments?
Yes, I believe we do. You can go to that far podium over there. I believe that mic works.
Would you like to state your name, please?
Yes, my name is Vicki Resso. Hi, hello. Thank you for inviting us here at the Community Services Committee this evening. I am Vicki Resso, current president of Pinole Artisans. Also here today is Chris Bernillo, who just walked in the room. He's one of our new members. Nadine Robbins-Laurent. She's one of our board members, and my husband, Michael Resso.
Welcome, everybody.
Thank you. We're here to let you know that we're open to create a connection with the city of Pinole to discuss plans for art projects in the community and for art education. Pinole Artisans has been in existence since 2004. We are a 501c3 organization and have had varying degrees of involvement with the city of Pinole over the years. Most of our 19 years, we've had a gallery in various locations as places came available and would work for our budget. But last year, we lost our lease in the Fitzgerald location and have not been able to find anything suitable. So we are continuing to do what we can do in the community. We've been providing free classes for kids at the Pinole Library, watercolor classes, and a weekly drop-in art group for adults at a church space in El Sobrante. And we have a monthly educational program, which is open to the public. The next meeting will be Tuesday, September 5th at 7 in the Pinole Library. Right now, we have about 40 members. Some are steadfast folks who have been members since 2004, and we're happy to have some new members recently. We painted the murals at the Bear Claw Bakery, so you're probably familiar with that in the walkway. We've done other projects in conjunction with the city early in the 2000s. And we would very much like to continue and enhance our relationship with the city of Pinole. So Chris, who is our new member, is an experienced mural artist. He has some fantastic ideas. So we're here, we're open, and happy to be involved in bringing art to Pinole. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent organization.
Yes, thank you.
I'd like to ask you a question. If you, your group of 40 people would help work with the Historical Society, and we ever get that building built, since we promised the free air people years and years ago that it would be a museum, if you'd work with them, going to vote so we can actually end up with what we promised this family, you might be able to have your function right there once it's completed. But they need a lot of help to convince certain people that it is a benefit to the city of Pinole, and I think groups like yours would have a benefit from it. You could probably have a place in there to have a meeting, however often you meet, and probably at a reduced cost for what you're paying now.
Mhm.
So if you guys are kind of throw your weight and ideas behind the Historical Society, I think that would help quite a bit and maybe give you a place to go.
I understand the dilemma there. I've kind of kept up with what's happening. We are kind of under the impression that it wouldn't be an appropriate space for a gallery. There's not really enough square footage on a bottom floor. Some of our members are not able to go to a second floor without an elevator. There's just a lot of problems with that space. However, any port in a storm, we're always open to talk about and see what could be done. We did work in partnership with the Historical Society to put those murals in at the Bear Claw walkway. So those are all depictions of different times in Pinole, the history of Pinole. So if you know of anybody who was here, I think we did that in 2008, 2007, something like that. So if you remember way back then, we did work successfully with the Historical Society, and that's where we got our inspiration for those paintings.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. But as you know, most murals that are painted, most of these people do not graffiti that. They last for a long, long time without some punk kid coming in with a spray can and messing it up walls. They had a bunch of them hit Rodeo. It was like they caught him. It was like a 12-year-old kid, 2:30 in the morning, spray painting tag numbers on a bunch of buildings. But they got him because he did it on a door that had the ring, and they caught him on that. So, but they usually don't mess with murals.
You're right. You're right. They have done a little bit of messing up with our mural there. But we put a special finish on the outside so it's easy to repair, and we've done some touch up. So yeah, it's right on both counts. You
Oh.
can fix it usually if it's minor, but you're right, most of them don't get tagged.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
At least you're using the public library. Perhaps you could check with the high school. Might be an option. Okay.
Can I make a comment?
Okay.
Thank you for coming this evening, and I appreciate you putting this on tape because it's being recorded for some people that don't know who the Pinole artisans are. I know of your work. It's terrific. Welcome back. Hopefully, the city will work with you. And there's some open spaces out there that the city can offer in terms of a meeting place, a place that you guys can go to without cost. And I think it's only fair that the city provide that space for you and bring you back like you were before. And we don't need a whole complete building. The building that was talked about earlier is going for sale. So we need to look at other remedies and solutions. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
We do have one public comment online.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Could you state your name, please?
My name's Anthony, a longtime resident of Pinole, over 40 years, and taxpayer. I hate to beat a dead horse here, but the city still has some infrastructure problems with not being able to change light bulbs. So, you know, how many public workers does it take to go out and change a light bulb? Director Mishra said some of those nice, fancy, schmancy light bulbs that the late, great Dean Allison designed and put up all along Pinole Valley Road from the Sprout Center up through the Trader Joe's shopping center. He said those cost $100, but we can't find $100 to change a light bulb now and then. There are about half a dozen light bulbs, but we can spend thousands of dollars in canceling a fireworks show or spending $50,000 to $75,000 for co-sponsoring a Hercules fireworks show over the past 2 years. But we got basic infrastructure problems that need to be taken care of like yesterday, if not over the past 6 months, with lights out in several light outages in public parking lots. I fell down at the last Thursday night concert a couple weeks ago in an unlit public parking lot at Park Place there off the curb that wasn't marked properly or lit properly. So every public parking lot has 1 or 2 light outages, as well as outages up and down San Pablo Avenue and Pinole Valley Road. Not to mention Adobe Road by the dog park. There's light outages there, light outages in the barbecue grove. Next to that, by the caretaker's house, light outages on top of the bathroom, the major big spotlight that's supposed to come on at 7 or 8 o'clock at night over the dog park bathroom's been out for over 6 months. I don't understand, you know, we got all these chiefs and big directors and managers getting $150,000 to $250,000 a year, but we can't afford to hire or pay public workers and hold anybody accountable. Like I was told the other day, this week or last week, they only had 2 workers show up. So if they had 8 on the payroll, how come if not only 2 showed up? We either have to pay them more or hire more, just like the police department. We could use another policeman up and down Fitzgerald Drive if they don't want to put a satellite police station during the 3-4 month holiday period on Fitzgerald Drive, where 3 out of 4 of the crimes and incidents that happen with breaking the law, petty theft, you name it, are up on the Fitzgerald Drive area. And lastly, I think the caretaker's house should be sold, like the Faria house, if it's going to be kept empty, thanks to the city manager and for the mayor and city council. My recommendation has been to make a multi-use, multi-purpose building out of the caretaker's house and let the Historical Society have an office and a museum in there, as well as the Pinole Garden Club.
Could you please
and-
wrap it
and
up?
Have a garden in the, have a
Your time
garden
has
in the
expired.
backyard.
Anthony, could you please
Well,
wrap it
I
up?
want to question that. The last lady before me, she had more than 2 minutes on the time clock. Plus,
You've had 3 minutes,
you didn't-
Anthony.
the last lady on the dais that showed up in person was given more time with discussion Q&A than I did. Plus, you didn't post the housekeeping announcement at the beginning of the meeting with the proper webinar ID number and telephone
Anthony,
number. So
could you finish, please?
wonder why you don't have but one person calling in, because someone doesn't see the phone number posted or the ID number at the beginning of the meeting.
Hey,
Nor do
Anthony,
you
it's time
announce
for you
it.
to,
Thank you.
the lady
It's okay.
only worked 3 minutes talking. So we have a clock here that, because you're wrong, she did it all within 3 minutes. So you're wrong about that and you're way over. So would you be polite and hang up? Thank you.
Anthony, we will go ahead and refer the items that you have talked about. Certainly the light bulbs, that'll be discussed at a TAPS meeting. Other than that, when you see something as a citizen, perhaps you might want to call Public Works if you see something out. The crime, of course, is a police issue. So thank you for calling. Okay, new business. Coastal cleanup. Yes, please.
Leticia Andreas, Public Works. The coastal cleanup is in very much full swing. Last year we received 30 new lawn signs. 28 have been posted by myself because maintenance staff was not available over the summer as much and they were not able to do it. So I went out and also with help of the new Public Works specialist, Mia. I just posted another couple one around here today. One I was asked to take down, which was at the Veterans Blue Star on Pinole Valley Road. That's where you go on the 80 East ramp. So I took that down yesterday. It was too close to the Veterans Blue Star, I was told, and it's disrespectful. So I did take it down. The banner is brand new. I ordered it just a few weeks ago. It was just placed yesterday over San Pablo, right here. We have 2 more banners that need to be placed, and I gave Public Works maintenance staff a deadline by this Friday. I cannot place these 8x4 banners myself, so this will be done by this Friday. Anything else for public services? We had a couple of issues because the lady we usually dealt with for years, Andrea, she is no longer in that position and nobody had told us. So there's been about a 6 weeks delay because I inquired and I got no response until I finally involved some other Republic Services people. And so down that's resolved as well. And so from you, I need to know how you are we doing everything the same as we did last year and as you have been doing the past years?
Yes,
Anything
as
else?
I mentioned to you, I'll help set up and everything, but I'll work registration, particularly with students.
And
have
anybody
the
else?
students, I'm assuming Maria contacted all the schools.
Oh yeah, no, I did. I sent
did.
Peach Jar
Yes. Peach Jar.
out. It was posted on August 21st. I wanted to give them like a week from when school starts to, just to settle in. And then I've already gotten responses from some of the schools asking for waivers. The waiver has been signed off by the attorneys yesterday, and I received a brand new copy. No extra waivers for minors. Everything is on one page. So I'm going to send these out by email, and everybody has to print them out and bring them. And I just have to basically do the sign up sheet and then.
Leticia, are you offering public service, community service hours for the high school
Yes,
kids?
I've printed those certificates out as
Okay,
well
'cause
already.
That'll bring kids out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of kids, older teenagers already called and they would like to stop by. There was one call I had, and I don't know the school anymore, but there's been a lot of interest already.
Good.
So, and then anything else? So, who else is going to be at coastal cleanup except for Laurel? Irma? Okay. Bob, are you planning on doing the barbecue again?
I am, if you're going to have it. Yeah, I have Pete Murray's. Already talked to him. We decided that, if you only have the food, which I think helps bring people in,
Yeah.
you feed people, they come usually because it doesn't cost
So
anything.
I kind of had we had a request last year for some vegetarian options. What do you think about that? I mean, should I the day before I'm going to Costco anyway to get the snacks and supplies? Do you want me to pick up a veggie burger package?
Or some fruit or something.
Yeah.
Or you need help picking it up from Costco?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
No. But if you want me to, I'll just pack up get one pack at Costco.
Yeah.
Veggie option and some fruit. So we
And
have
Whatever
that.
we have left from that, I like to see it kept, and we use it for dumpster day.
Yep.
This last dumpster day, I cooked hamburgers. Actually, it was wild game hamburgers
Right.
for the guys afterwards.
Yes.
And this year, I want to do the same. But I want to start the cooking process earlier than when it's closed, because I want to invite the truck drivers from Republic
Mm-hmm.
to come and while they're waiting to be filled up, come over and have something to eat with us. Kind of a payback for them. I know they get paid for doing it, but it gets good relations between us and Republic if we do something like that.
Yeah, Republic, they're gonna drop off 2 bins at coastal cleanup.
Two.
Size, yes,
Coastal
one for recycling
Oh,
and
coastal
one
cleanup,
for
okay.
regular trash.
They had more bins than that last year, I think, but I'm not sure.
I thought we had only one, but I could be wrong.
Maybe it
about
was.
that.
There's
I
only-
thought there were a couple.
But they weren't really filled up either. But they're gonna do that, and they know about it. I discussed it with them this week, and I think that's all I can think of for now. Yep, we have a new storage for this. As I'm gonna get into this when we talk about dumpster day. The storage is at the old building at the dog park, and they gave me the keys to one of the storage sheds, which was empty because the water plant, it was all the material was in pretty bad shape because they just been throwing stuff in there like all kinds of things, and it was in bad shape, and I had to throw some things out. So I really pushed and I asked, I really need new storage this time where it's clean. So I got the keys to this big storage shed at the old house up there.
Great. So will Public Works everyone will be putting up, what time do you want us there we'll be starting to put up
When was it last
awnings
year?
and things?
I know I was there early. They started
Yes.
very early.
Yes, normally we're there early.
Yeah.
Just set up, and so we usually get some coffee in that.
Yes, I did last year. We'll do it this year. Get coffee and get some breakfast items. That was like around 6. I usually picked them up.
Right.
And then be there at 6:30, I believe.
So what time is it starting for the public?
8:30 pre-registration.
8:30?
But I remember from last year, the longest lines came around 9, and it was until around 9:30, I think, Laurel.
Right, I think so.
Right? Yeah, 9 regular start at 8:30 pre-reg.
Yeah, pre-reg, that's what
Yeah.
she said.
It should though.
They know.
I believe it does.
So you want us there about 7?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Well, thank
yes.
you.
Okay. So any questions? Any other concerns?
Question.
Yeah.
We're talking about coastal cleanup, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In the past, I've lived here over 40 years, so I have to make sure that everybody knows that. Coastal cleanup also was the cooking at the end was done by the firefighters. They were invited. They
It's
should
been a
be
long
invited
time ago.
again. No, it
Mm,
doesn't matter, but they were always participants for all these events. At the coastal cleanup, so was the firefighters. They also helped cook.
yeah, this is not going to happen because they're with Confire. This is an
No,
entirely
no,
different
no,
issue.
no. That's wrong.
Yeah, no.
The firefighters are part of Pinole. We have a contract. There's part of Pinole. Just because they're Confire contract partnership, we don't exclude them. Okay?
Okay,
And that's
so
my understanding now. I don't know where you're coming from.
I'm
Jeremy,
coming
could you
from
explain
having
that one?
worked for Fire and having worked for Confire before as well for 6 years.
No, no, it
So
doesn't
the
matter.
thing is that they would have to be put out of rotation for calls.
No,
and
they've been
that's
doing
an
that
issue.
here in Pinole.
Last year they were not.
Jeremy, can you straighten that out or we'll take it up to the higher level?
They were
We
last
can
year.
invite them. We can
Yeah.
invite them.
Last year they were not there.
Because they weren't invited.
I worked for Fire still last year. I
Okay,
don't remember an invitation.
look, you don't know what's been going on at the top.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, I
think
worked
this
for
is
Fire for
inappropriate
6
in a
years.
public
No,
meeting.
I'm making a statement
It's just
here.
inappropriate.
No, it's not inappropriate
Yes, it
because
is.
they were
Yeah.
not invited.
We have put on the barbecue for the last 7 or 8 years. Pete Murray, myself, and one of Pete Murray's neighbors. Our fire department hasn't come down there to do the barbecue for I don't know how long, at least 7 or 8 years. And we took it over. I don't know if it was because the fire department didn't want to do it anymore or they were too busy. But that long, I know Pete Murray and myself and one of his neighbors have done the barbecue. Only thing I would like for you to check is have Public Works run the barbecue a couple of days ahead of time. Make sure the propane and everything on it works properly.
Yeah, the maintenance crew, yeah, like
Yeah,
Matt
have them
Jones and
check that
whoever's
for
going
us.
to.
And I
Yeah.
have an explanation why they weren't here the last 7, 8 years. We had one fire station. When they're called for emergencies, they take off. They offered volunteerism. Yes, some of us were there cooking, but when they called for a fire, we only have one fire station. So if you want to know the truth, that's what was going on.
We can
No,
re-
we always had mutual aid, so that was
No,
never
it
an
doesn't
issue.
matter. They had to leave.
and we can
they
reach
had
out to
emergencies.
Confire and invite them.
Thank
and,
you.
And it's up to them if they come. It's not.
Yeah.
They're
They
a,
can help out.
they're a separate organization. I know they're kind of struggling to find their niche in our community, but we can definitely reach out to if that's something that you feel appropriate.
I can email Chief
I-
Rochard. I have all the emails.
I'll get in touch with Joya and the
Yeah.
rest of the clan because they're the ones that did the contract. They were a part of us. They're still a part of us. They're in the city and they shouldn't be left out.
Well, at this point, they're not participating in any city events because that's just not happening. Because we all consider them to be part of Confire, and that's what was
They're
made
part
clear.
of Pinole. They're partnership.
It was made clear to
no,
us,
no,
though,
no.
that they're
It's not
part
clear
of
to us in Pinole.
Confire.
We
Contra
passed
Costa
the tax
County.
for Station 74. Station 73 is still part of Pinole. So
As
you know,
community
74 as well.
services, we invite them to some of our events. We've invited them to all our events. They've came to one or two. One they couldn't come to. They didn't have the staff. They let us know. But we can definitely invite them, and it's up to them if they come. We can't force them to come.
no, I'm not saying force them, Jeremy and everybody.
No,
I'm just saying we
can
dropped the
invite them.
ball on the first one. They were not invited. The
I-
second one,
I'm not worried about what happened in the
Okay.
past. We're
okay,
learning from
so
that.
all
We're
I'm
moving
saying,
forward.
let's set the record straight. Okay, let's hear it from the top. If we have to go to the top and see what our contractual are, because we are partnership to Confire and they should be a part of the city.
I think
So-
I think you heard Jeremy say that
Yeah.
we can certainly invite them.
Mhm.
Letitia said she'll contact them. She has worked in that industry, so I think that's great.
Yeah, I worked for Confire and for Pinole Fire.
Okay.
So,
I have
what is the top for you, Irma? So, except for Chief Rochard,
What's that?
who is the top for you?
I was at the booth at the at the
I know, but who is the top for you? Contacting the top,
Supervisor
like Chief
Joya.
Rochard,
Supervisor Joya. I'll go to him. I know Joya.
Supervisor
Yes,
Joya.
I'll go to him, and he's the one that came and spoke about the contract, and he should be telling us the truth. What happened with the contract? It's partnership.
We're not talking about the contract right now. We're talking about coastal cleanup.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
We'll go to the top, ask him permission, and get it straightened out once and for all.
but his permission is not the last word. There will be Confire at the top.
No,
Yes,
they're on top. No,
yes.
Confire. It's part of county.
but they cannot get an engine out of rotation or two. They have like now only 3 on staff. That's Confire
Okay,
policy.
let's,
It used to be 4 on staff.
I will reach out to them and see what I can do.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I do have one statement. They were invited to come to the car show. None of them showed up.
That's
We
not
had
true.
Guys right here.
That's not
that
true.
came down.
Just let him
Okay.
speak, please.
Okay, then I have a comment.
Okay.
You
I
know-
don't want to continue something that's
We need to stick
discouraging
to
at this
the,
meeting. We need to move through to the next.
Yeah.
we need to
So I'm
stick
closing
to
that.
the,
I'm closing the subject on that. Do you have any more, Letitia? Do you have any more on coastal cleanup?
No, unless there's anything else that you can think of. No. I made a note about contacting the chiefs at Confire because I have all their emails. So, but other than that, don't think so.
We'll see you at
Yeah.
7.
Yes.
And I have another question.
Yes.
Is it related to coastal cleanup?
Yes, it is. Yes. I want to know what kind of areas we're going to clean, or do you have certain places we're going to go to?
Yeah.
We
The,
don't have enough people. If we get done and the areas on the coast quickly, I don't know if you've been to these lately.
Every year.
Yeah, well.
And we
then you
clean up,
see
we
people-
follow each other down the
Okay.
line, cleaning the same old
Then
thing.
you go down to, go down the creek and other areas.
yes.
Well, we want to know where we should go when it's already clean. We should go to another area. That's all
We'll
my
have a
point.
list of things we'll have a list of places.
Yeah. Where to go over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to move on to dumpster day, please.
Okay.
Thank
So-
you, Letitia.
Yeah, sure. Just to make you aware, everybody, right after coastal cleanup and before dumpster day, I'm out of the country
Sure.
for 2 weeks. So what I'm doing right now, I am doing basically 2 at the same time. So dumpster day, I'm going to start next week right away after Labor Day. The signs for dumpster day cannot be found by the maintenance crew, and nobody remembers where they put them last year. So I have to order all new ones. Everything seems to be set up with the public services. And then Irma, Commissioner, I would like to ask, you wanted 2 locations, and how is that going to work?
I spoke to
No.
Misha
Yeah,
Sunday, and he told me that the best place to go is to the treatment center. The one in Pinole senior center, will not be appropriate because the trucks are too wide.
right.
But we're talking about maybe just one area, and we were going to walk that area sometime in the next couple of days to make sure how we're going to do it. So
So that would be the same area as coastal cleanup,
yes,
Bayfront
Well,
Park.
yeah, we're
The
going
oth-
to check
the
it
other
out.
commission
yeah.
has disagreed and felt
Mhm.
that we should stay where we were.
Yes.
So I can't decide on that, I think.
One thing that happened in the past, and one reason they went to only one location, they used to drop them off at different locations. Nobody had control if they were from the city of Pinole and the trash was overfilling on the ground, and so they had to come and clean it up. Right here, we're having it in one location. It takes the people a long time, but it's not costing them a dime to dump there. And we have control of when it leaves the parking lot at the park there, everything is clean as the way it was when we showed up. And it's been working really, really smooth for years. I don't know why you'd want to have 2 and then have trash spread out all
Yeah,
over the city of
the
Pinole.
other thing is that we would need more public works staff to help. So far, I think we had 4, usually at Pinole Valley Park. So we need 4 more.
We
And
need more volunteers.
yeah, but also public works staff because they're the ones then that, have to put in for overtime and all that. So I'm not sure.
This was discussed a couple of months ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and what I
Discussed,
brought
yeah,
up
but not
when I came on
confirmed.
board was Caltrans offered a dumpsters, and no one took them up last year. I brought up the notes that Caltrans was offering dumpsters to the city free, no charge, and that's when we decided another area down the treatment center would be one. Like you guys have your Pinole Valley up there.
It's not you guys, people.
No,
come
I'm
from
talking
all over.
about the other area that's been it's been done. We're adding another area to the treatment center because those dumpsters are free, and they're allowing us to add, to bring more people in.
You need.
Sanjay and I are working on it,
You need more volunteers.
and we're
because
working
a lot
on
of
it.
the volunteers help the people who aren't able to unload and that kind of thing.
And
It
and
takes the-
check
it
the
takes the
IDs,
professionals-
help to unload,
Yes, it takes the
clean up.
professionals, All what they have is to back up trucks, move
Yeah.
things. So I think at this point with what we have, having 2 locations is not possible.
So
I
who
disagree.
who on that one would make a final decision? Because I'm not sure.
We voted, we had input.
We
earlier.
voted it
The
already.
Majority of the commission said they preferred right now to keep it in one location.
No, not
Okay.
true. We voted the Caltrans offer, and Sanjay and I are working on it. So we're going to offer the treatment center.
The
They're free
commission
dumpsters.
voted to keep it in one location.
Not true. We'll look at
So
the minutes.
I remember that Misha and I talked about the Caltrans. We're definitely going to do that. We're going to offer more days. And at the time when we received it, it was June or July. There was not enough time to set anything up at all. That's why we decided at the time not to move forward with Caltrans. But that is going to happen.
Well, Misha did, Sandy did tell me we need more volunteers. I can get the volunteers. There is no problem.
But where from? I mean, how can we rely on that information?
For me, I get the volunteers. I told Sanjay, I'll get the volunteers for you. I already have 2, 3. How many you need? He told me 2. I think more than that. So, I mean, we'll get the volunteers together, and he was going to work with me.
So then the volunteers, you would probably have to talk to the commission about who they are, because I can't rely on I will get them. It just
No,
makes
I'll
me
work
very
with Sanjay.
anxious.
I will work with Sanjay. They're
Yeah.
free
You're on the
dumpsters to the
commission,
counter.
you work with the commission.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
already working with you, and you guys don't want to keep the old place.
I think, no.
This is a different contract with Caltrans. They're offering free dumpsters, and
Did you
guys
just not
want it on
hear
the
that you
same day.
need more staff from Public Works for overtime?
Yeah, they
That
have
has
to be there.
approved.
They have to be there, yeah.
Well, Sanjay should be here. I don't know where he is. You should be talking about this.
Because Sanjay technically is not exactly involved in cleanup
Works
and
isn't involved?
dumpster day.
Public Works isn't involved.
Yes, and then it would have to also go to Joe Bingham and to approve the workers.
He already knows. Sanjay already knows. What? Can someone give him a call? Call him right now.
No, I think that's
No.
inappropriate right now.
But Joe Bingham has to be then approve
He
his
called me
workers.
last month and say we're on. I have an email from him, and he asked me what areas, senior center or the treatment center or both,
Mhm.
because we're getting dumpsters, a couple of dumpsters. And you guys didn't take the offer up in November until I brought it up when I came on the commission 2 months ago.
I don't know anything about November.
Well, because you weren't here.
Oh, last year. Okay, yeah. Right. Okay. So for dumpster day, Pinole Valley Park, I believe you have people set up that check IDs. I don't want to, get in somebody's way again, so we can discuss it on the morning of. I'm also going to get the coffee and etc. early in the morning, and I don't know what else there was.
I'll
had the
talk to you about
barbecue at
that
the
after
end.
the meeting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to be out of the country.
Well, perhaps we could do another dumpster day if it's possible with Public Works in the other location at a different time.
Yes.
I'll check with Misha tomorrow.
Yeah, and Caltrans, that's definitely something we want to pursue. Yes,
It's already set up, and Misha called
Yeah.
me, and I have an email from him. Thank you.
yes.
All right, thank you.
Anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Item C, sister city policy.
Okay, to give everybody a little background on the sister city, the council voted to send a sister city. Let me start over. The city council directed me to work with this body to come up with a sister city policy. Our previous mayor wanted a sister city, and so he got the ball rolling. And so here we are. I provided input from a couple of our members here, a couple of our commissioners, and used that input to put together a sister city policy. I then sent it to this group. Does anybody have any input on that policy.
And I responded to you.
Yes, and I
But I
put,
thought some were complex for the size of the city we have. So that was my input when I sent it to you.
so I need this group, I took your input, put that into the policy, and then you guys, the next step is for you guys to approve it, to vote on it, and then I will present that to the city council on September 19th.
Okay.
So I'm taking input and also a vote.
Is that what the input is? Which city?
No, not which city, but a policy on how we adopt which city.
Okay, so, all right. So we're about 20,000 people here in Pinole. What city is about 20,000 people else in the world that could be our sister?
So you want to show.
There's a million that we could do. It's
All right.
so we're not worrying about what city specifically. It's just how we choose that city. And that's the policy that is in front of you.
Oh,
So you guys can vote to send that policy to the city council for adoption.
You want us to vote on this draft?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to make a comment.
Yes.
Okay. This is fairly new, this adoption policy for sister cities. I think on the agenda, we got quite a few things going on. I think we should table it to the next meeting and have a thorough understanding of what's going on, and most of us read it. I didn't have time to read it. So to me, I table it to the next meeting if we could.
That's totally up to you guys. You guys can.
Does that put you back too far,
Time to really
Jeremy?
read over and over.
Yeah.
Not just glance over, read it. That makes sense to me.
Do you want us to wait till next meeting?
That's
Would
up to you
would
guys.
Prefer us to read it and respond to you?
No, I want you guys to understand it. And
Next
yeah,
meeting will be enough time to do so.
All right. So the policy, we'll ask all commissioners and those that are not here, perhaps send another email to the whole commission and reminding them to please read it because it'll be on the, to approve on the next month. We have a speaker, Rafael Menace. Rafael, welcome. You want to talk on the policy? I will not be taking questions or anything from Rafael. Let's just hear him.
Sure. Though I recognize the item is going to be continued, so I'm not going to go as in-depth as I perhaps would have here. But greetings, my name is Rafael Menace. I'm a resident of Pinole, and I've got some comments on the Pinole Sister Cities Policy 5C. First off, just as a drafting point, there's a lot of the bullet points that have sort of doubled up numbers. I think it might make more sense to just have bullet point 1 and then bullet point 2 rather than 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. There's a few cases where that's the case. Secondly, I think it might be worthwhile to narrow the criteria a bit, because right now I think you've got something on the order of 40 different potential criteria across the various different categories. So I think that at least at the point where it's submitted as a recommendation, it would probably be worthwhile to narrow it down to, I'd say, a maximum of 20 overall subcategories to consider across all categories, and ideally fewer, just so people can have sort of a general idea of a rubric. You could have a rubric that has 40 different items in it, of course, but the more items that you're making checklists on and comparing it on, the harder it is to sort of set up an overall chart and map out where everything fits in the subcategory, because you're comparing a whole bunch of different things. I definitely think it's worthwhile having all these things on the initial consideration, because you're going to want to look over all of them and see which ones you want to keep. But I would suggest that by the time you get to the final documents phase, that you cut the number of things you're considering in half, at least, just for purposes of being able to rank things properly. I think the overall points for discussion for a partnership relationship are worthwhile, though I note that some of the obstacles they flag might not necessarily be a bright line one. I think back on, let's see, where was it? Overall factors to take into consideration. Yes. So under the economic subcategory, item number 3, language/cultural patterns not treating barriers. I'm not quite clear what that point is intended to say, but I'm hoping that it says that language patterns aren't treated as a barrier, because I think it'll be worthwhile to consider sister city relationships with cities that, don't have English as their primary language. Thank you.
Thank you, Raphael.
We have one on.
We have Chris Granello. No?
That's for the next.
Oh,
We have
one online. Sir or madam, could you come online, please? Hello?
My name is Anthony, again from Pinole. And regarding the sister city topic, I'd like to agree with Commissioner Rupert that not enough time and or information is available, not only to the commissioners, but how about the general public? I think there should be some kind of a mini discussion with the general public. We don't need a full-blown town hall meeting, but before you draw up policy and it gets rubber stamped by you people and the city council, the general public should know what we're having to commit to or get into with regard to having a sister city program. And just because the last mayor suggested it or recommended it over a year ago, it's not cast in stone that we have to take that ball and run with it 110%. I think it should be open to discussion with the new city council members and the new city council, new mayor as well. And you didn't open public comment for a dumpster day and coastal cleanup. But with regard to Miss Letitia, who did a good job trying to explain it all, and I don't want to get confrontational or adversarial here, but I might make a suggestion or recommendation that the signage that was going to be made up for dumpster day and or coastal cleanup, they should increase the signage by about 200 to 300%, because the signs I see throughout the city are way too small and they're positioned way too low in the ground or in the curbs that people driving by can't see them. And I almost got an accident trying to read one the first time I saw it. So both of those signs need to be increased in size, especially if they're going to make new ones for a dumpster day. So they'd be bigger, wider, and bolder and stand up higher to some degree. And as far as the location for the dumpster day positioning, as well as coastal cleanup down by the wastewater treatment plant, I don't think any serious discussion or consideration has been given to the major construction project that's ongoing. And that's one of the reasons why they canceled the fire marshal, canceled and put the kibosh over the city council and city manager's decision to have the fireworks show in the 9th hour this year, amongst other things, with not keeping the wastewater treatment plant weeds and everything kept up with all the dry, dead vegetation around it. But it's not a good space down there. And granted, we get the free dumpsters, but that's going to be on a weekend. A lot of general public uses that parking lot for walking and recreational stuff down by the wastewater treatment plant parking lot, plus all the construction going on along.
Thank you, Anthony. We have another person.
No, that's for the next item.
That's the next item. I apologize. Okay. So everyone on the commission, please take time to review this, which will then, of course, go to city council. Then city council will review it, people can go to the city council meeting and make comments at that meeting.
I have a question.
Yes.
On someone referred and asked if we could pass this out. Can the planning commissioners look at this, or is not at their
No, this was given directed to the Community Services
services
Commission.
from the council?
Yep.
Okay. I do agree that we should have more time to let the community, uh, give us some of their information or ideas or suggestions. A lot of times you pass things here in the city or wherever, commission or committees, and we don't take enough input from the public. This is their city. This is one of the policies we're going to adopt, and I think we need to give the citizens enough time to look at it.
I think it can be attached to the agenda that can go out to the public so that they can come to this meeting, the next one, or they can go to the city council before they approve it. So that's two opportunities that the public will get to look at that.
Sure, but we could do enough advertisement and distribution. Okay.
Okay. Public art.
Okay. So last month, myself and Economic Community Development Director Lily Leyland, we presented to the City Council on public art, and we want to. The city already has an existing public art policy, and that public art policy is supposed to be overseen by this commission. And since I've been here the last year, we haven't done anything with public art. So Lily and I are bringing that back up, and so there's going to be a lot more coming forward to this group based on public art. So I don't have anything to report. I'm just giving you guys the heads up, letting you know. We presented on it. I think it's important to our city. It creates an environment, better quality of life, and everything that goes into what art provides. So be prepared, be on the lookout for more information to come forward on public art. And according to the policy, this body oversees the public art policy. So we're working on that. We're rewriting it, and so lots of fun things and exciting things coming forward.
Thank you, Jeremy.
I have a
I
comment.
invite Chris to come to the podium, please.
Okay.
Hello, wanted to introduce myself. I'm Chris Granillo, a member with the Pinole Artisans, printmaker, artist, painter, public artist. I recently had fun painting at the summer concerts. I don't know, I saw a couple of folks attend that and got to meet the musicians, and that was a lot of fun. The community came out. But we are working to get more art, like you were mentioning just now, about public, like when you come into Pinole, that's the first thing you see is murals, sculptures, take add some color to the downtown area as well. Another thing that we were kind of interested in collaborating with was the logo. I'm not sure if there was a subject of that in this, but it's something that we're looking to give us a chance to recreate and illustrate something with the new design. But that's if I don't know how far in the works that is with the council or the commission. But it's something that we could probably take a shot at. So, and I mean the Pinole Artisans. We have a lot of different ideas, tons of artistic people, mosaic, sculpture, and large scale murals. So reach out, we're here.
Thank
That's
you,
it.
Chris.
Thank you.
That's very encouraging.
I will say I met Chris at the concert in the park a couple weeks ago. Very talented. He drew or painted
Yeah.
the drummer, I believe,
Yeah.
and it was amazing. I was just it took my breath away to watch you work, and that was so cool. So
It's a
thank you for your
45-minute painting, but the band bought the painting and they're gonna use it for the next album.
That's awesome.
Thank you
That's
so
cool.
much,
It would
Chris.
have
That's great.
he's very talented. It would
Yeah.
have taken me hours to do what he did in 45 minutes, but yes, please. Also, just to answer his question there, the as far as the city logo, there's another department that's working on that. I have your contact information. I will get you in touch with them. Doesn't have anything to do with this group, but I will definitely steer you in the right direction.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a comment. Yeah, the logo, 2 council members are working on the logo. It would be very helpful to bring in some ideas, put your name out and say, I can do this, and be creative and show us how to be creative. We need you guys to come forth and say, what is it that we can all do together? And especially with the kids. We're talking about grouping with the kids. They need community hours and partnership, and things that you are not able to do. You can train and teach and mentor all of us in the community. And it's so nice to see you guys here. Thank you for coming.
Okay, the next item we're moving to is old business.
Oh, thank you. Okay, the Parks Master Plan. So we are currently working on the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. I emailed each one of you a um, uh, a questionnaire to fill out. Please fill that out and return it to the RJM, the group that is copied on that email. Please get back to them. They also want to schedule um, a 45-minute interview. I believe Irma has done hers already. And Laurel, you've done yours also?
we did
Oh,
ours.
that's awesome. So make sure that you guys, and tell your other commissioners that aren't here, that make sure that they're responding to those emails.
Pretty sure I responded already.
You did, yes, yeah, yeah. So, and please tell the community we have a website, Pinole parksmasterplan.com. Please share that with the masses. We want input. You go on there and you can put in your input and give your suggestions. That's how we're going to make this city a better place to live, work, and play. So please make sure you respond to those emails.
Thank you.
If you're not getting emails, please let me know.
I'm not, so please send me one. Maybe my personal email, not my commissioner email, which I don't think I've logged in a long time.
Okay, after this meeting, let me make sure I keep getting kickback from you, Nicholas. So let me make sure I have the right information.
Yes.
Make sure there's no firewall issues there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicholas. Appreciate it.
Okay, next.
Can I make a comment on this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I took the interview with a consultant, and they are coming for the first workshop in September. It's kind of a little heavy because it's on Friday afternoon, but hopefully if they're here earlier, they can go to the senior center and speak to some of the seniors there since they're there. To all of you guys out there, please, 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 Pinole Parks Master Plan, it's our plan. What do we want out there? We need to spread the word. If you know of anybody with emails, blast them with emails. This is the time to do it, not 2, 3 years later when the parks are done and say, well, we shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's too late. It's too late. We're doing it now. So we need your input. Bring it out to your groups. Anybody, if you have people's emails, please fill out the questionnaire. And Jeremy, I would suggest too, with the consultant, I mentioned that to him about the marker, excuse me, I'm sorry, the marketplace. I'd be willing to sit there
Right.
and take, but please give me a city, a Pinole big, tarp, with the name, and let's get some of these questionnaires filled out by our community because that's so
Absolutely.
important. Mhm,
Thank you for mentioning that, Irma.
mhm.
September 22nd, Friday, 6 p.m. at the senior center. Mark it down. I hope all the commissions there. I hope as many citizens as possible show up. We're going to have a presentation from RJM. That's Friday, September 22nd, 6 p.m. at
22nd.
Yes, September. It's a Friday, September 22nd, 6 p.m. And then they're also going to do a second one in October, or I'm sorry, November. Geez, November 17th is the second meeting. September 22nd, November 17th. November 17th is at the youth center,
Same time.
6 to 8 p.m. Yes. So please help us spread the word. We're getting a lot of great feedback, but obviously my goal would be to have every citizen of Pinole comment on it. Obviously, that's a little hard to do, but if we could get as many as possible, I'd be very happy.
Thank you.
And I have another suggestion. I'm sorry. The marketplace, the magazine we get every month through the mail.
Yep.
It's free.
Yep.
If you put on events,
Yeah, we sent that information in.
you
to be
did.
in there.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, let's move to the next Pride event. Is this a very successful? Jeremy?
Yes, we had our first ever Pride event. It was greatly attended. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know but it's very successful. We had a band, we had food trucks, we had vendors, we had a petting zoo. And so thank you for all who was involved with that. It was a great start. We're going to build it, do bigger and better next year and just keep growing. So thank you.
Summer events. I noticed that we received something in the mail. I received it today on summer events in Pinole, and there are several.
Yes, we had numerous concerts in the parks. We had movies in the park, all very well attended, more so than last year. So thank you to everyone that came out and supported those events. And we look forward to growing those again next year.
And we have several other things coming up towards the end of until the end of the year as well.
I will say that the largest event that we had was partnership, was the car show. It was my first car show being here. I hadn't started last year. I think I started a couple days after the car show. So this was my first one attending. I saw my dream car that I want, and it was so neat to see the community come together and to be a part of that and to just experience everything that offers. So if you didn't go, I encourage next year, definitely attend because it's a must. Yeah, sure. I'll let Bob speak on that a little bit.
Yeah, for the last 5 years, I've been kind of in charge of the car show. I do the back and forth between the police department, the city, and all that. And everybody's been great to work with in the city. And this year, we're going to be giving away close to $11,000 on next Tuesday to different groups here locally. And they're going to be Explorer from the police department, senior center, TV station, a veteran, and Meals on Wheels, and Hercules Little League swim center, swim team. So all of that's going to be happening next Tuesday. It's on the agenda, and we had over 320 classic cars from 1980 all the way back to when they first started making cars. That was the classification you had to be in, and it brings in the most amount of money for the businesses that day. We probably had maybe there's no way of counting how many public people show up, citizens from all over coming to this, and we probably have 3,000 plus to 4,000 people come and visit the car show every year. It's open, there's no charge, and we have vendors, so you can get all kinds of food in that. And it's the biggest day for the small businesses all year. I've known Mike's from the Bear Claw since 1958, his family, and he said that is his best day all year. So this year we're doing the same thing. We're giving back to the public in our area. We actually painted a veteran's house painted last year for a veteran that was from Camp Lejeune, the Marine place where they had the bad water. He was there. We met with him and his wife 3 times. Twice he was in a VA hospital in Martinez a couple of days before we talked to him. So if anybody talks about that being a bogus deal, this gentleman is a live example of what he's going through because of the bad water. And I hope you come to the car show next year.
Thank you so much. Okay, our final event tonight is community outreach and engagement.
Excuse me, I have a comment on summer events. Today you should have received a flyer from.
I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, but did you get it in the mail? Did you ask them? because I just got ours today. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. It was nice.
Since we don't have a quorum now,
Okay.
so just call it the end.
That's the end of our agenda for tonight. Anything else we'll do in September. So thank you for those who are here. Thank you for those listening in, and thank you for everyone who participated. Thank you. Next meeting is scheduled for September 27th, 2023.